Hey guys, what's going on? It's Savage here, and today we're going to be talking about the Joker sequel that we need to see if they ever do make one. And basically, this is just some ideas and some, random spitball topics that could be talked about for a sequel, or even just, thinking about what could be happening in this world as a continuation. Now, before we get into the video, if you could drop a like and comment down below what sequels you would like to see, or some ideas that you would like to see inserted into a sequel. And also go subscribe to one of my friends, Irogen, who also made this type of video and gave me one of, or at least, I had most of these ideas, but he gave me another one. And, I'll basically, kind of say something similar. But if you want to go see his video, he also made a really good video talking about sequels that could be happening or sequel ideas. So let's get right into it. So the first one would basically be like, a true sequel. And, these first few, I don't think a lot of people would really want to see, like, realistically, because a true sequel to this would just see how Arthur would basically rise to being the Joker that we all know. Like, the last 15 minutes was really, something that I personally think was a very comic accurate Joker. So if we really take that into consideration, if we see more of that, if we see like, a full movie of that, I think that would be pretty amazing. Either way, a continuation of seeing Arthur kind of manipulate the gang or the mob that was incredibly pissed off at the end of the last movie and use that to break out of Arkham or use that to, get what he needs from inside of Arkham would be very interesting in manipulating ways and getting certain things in a very, mastermind way would be nice to see, because in the first movie he wasn't really like the smartest person. I think a lot of people really see him as just, it's not like he's stupid. He has potential to be smart, but he's just not like, the mastermind that we really know him. But if he's stuck in a jail, right, maybe he gets smarter over time, and we get to see how he continues to rise in that criminal underworld. You can use other villains if you really need to. Like, you can use the Cobblepots if they're doing, crime at this point, or maybe they're not, I don't know. Or you can do the Falcones, the Maronis, I don't know. Do something with the criminal underworld and show how Joker kind of slithers his way into like that type of line of work, because eventually that's where he's going to be going. He's not going to just like sit in Arkham the entire time. Obviously, from the ending of the first movie, it kind of seems like he's already going crazy in there. So it seems like he's probably, or at least from what we could tell, is most likely going to break out. The next one would basically be add Batman, but I'm going to try to combine two of mine that I had here, and it's basically adapting the Joker story by Brian Azzarello, I think it was. And essentially, in that story, it basically is Joker getting out of Arkham, and he's greeted by his new thug, or basically one of his new henchmen named Jack Frost. And Jack Frost essentially is just a regular thug, and he just follows Joker around throughout the entire story, does his bidding, does whatnot. It's pretty insane. It's a pretty decent story, and it would be nice to kind of see, not like a one-for-one adaptation, because obviously there's some fucked up shit in there that cannot be brought to screen. Like, compared to the movie, there's a lot more graphic content in that one comic. But the overall premise of it is like there's no Batman until like the last 5 minutes, and that's where my other idea was, besides this Joker Brian Azzarello adaptation thing. It would basically be adding Batman, but nobody wants to see Batman throughout the entire movie chase Joker. A good way to do this would be, Joker just causing mayhem throughout Gotham, and in the last 5 minutes getting cornered by Batman, which is something that would be really cool to see, because then it would resolve at least the joke that nobody got, or at least the therapist didn't get at the end of the first movie, which is, I think, would be a really awesome idea. And, seeing Joker, or at least, seeing a future version of this Joker in the perspective of somebody else, it is something that I think would be really smart, because it allows you to do really more things besides having this Joker be the main character, because there's realistically not a lot that you can do, like, in terms of like following his mindset, because he's already broken. Like, he's already reached that peak in terms of where he's going to go, and we already know that he's already going to be going down that rabbit hole of just more insane and more crazy. So seeing that type of descent from somebody else's point of view is much smarter than just having him be the main character and having, characters like Harley Quinn. And this is where, of course, Irogen's choice came in. He made a suggestion that Harley Quinn should be the character, and she should be the therapist that evaluates Joker or is infatuated by Joker throughout the sequel, which would actually be pretty cool if they want to parallel like the first movie. But I think that would be kind of the problem. But I like the idea because, it would be cool to see, of course, Joker from another point of view, and then seeing Harley Quinn get manipulated slowly, or Harley Quinzel get manipulated slowly by this Joker. And we can, of course, see how he, continues to grow in intelligence, and, and how he uses his condition or his past to kind of manipulate people. And I thought a good idea would be, if he kind of lied about the first movie, and Harley doesn't really understand because maybe she thought about it in a different way too, so it kind of screws with the first movie as well, and it makes you think about what's real, what's fake. Maybe they could do like a did he kill Murray thing or not, how did he really get that mob to really help him, or what really happened in the first movie. And I don't know, I think that would be really cool. I think that the personally I like the Jack Frost one a little bit more, because that one's more of like it's not like a tragedy, but like Jack Frost really doesn't want to be there. It's really fucked up. And seeing, Batman really just like, it's hard to explain without spoiling it, but like the end of the story is just like really fucked up altogether. And the message that it sends is like, these two are going to be at it forever. And, Jack Frost wants no part of it. And it's really a fucked up story that I think could be adapted very well if done right. So the final two are basically, the second to last one would be to retell the first movie and, kind of retell his origin in multiple ways. So, try to find a more creative, a different way that's not like Taxi Driver or King of Comedy. Maybe try to adapt the actual Killing Joke story without Batman or something along those lines. Or maybe do the story that you did the first time in a different way, but use different characters throughout the story. I don't know. It's hard to really retell that type of story, but I think it would be also easy to kind of just manipulate those events in certain ways so it seems like a retelling. I don't know. Personally, I like the Jack Frost or Harley Quinn point of views with, of course, Batman kind of insert in the last minute, or, something along those lines. But the last one, and I think one of the best ones, and I think a lot of people understand this too, as much as I want a sequel, the best choice would basically be not to make a sequel. No sequel at all is completely okay. And, I think a lot of people see how great this was, and potentially... And, Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix have both expressed interest in actually making a sequel, or at least talking about ideas for where they can go with, of course, this character. And the fact that, Joaquin Phoenix loves Arthur so much, and he loves playing the Joker so much, it really does look like there could be one if they have the right ideas, if they have the right material. There's a lot that I've said in this video that, could be used, but at the same time, a lot of this is like comic book shit. And what they did in the movie, while it did, use a lot of the comic book nature, like Gotham being a shitty place, and, Arkham Asylum, of course, not really knowing what the fuck to do with themselves. It's not the world that we know. And if we insert that type of version into, that world, it just wouldn't work. Personally, out of all of these choices, the Jack Frost one is my favorite. The Harley Quinn one is too close to the comics, and I don't think Todd Phillips would even touch that. Maybe in some way he might, if there's like a really good romance there that can be fucking explored, right? I don't know. Maybe they can figure out something and try to explore Harley Quinn's mindset and mental illness the way they try to do with Arthur. But better, because she can actually represent. I mean, she's a little bit more sane when she's walking into this. She gets just manipulated so fucking bad. It's like, you know what I mean. But I think the Jack Frost one would fit this world's story and theme a lot better. It would show Gotham's shittiness, like the way the first movie did. And personally, I think that would be a great parallel to see where the city was before Joker and where it is after Joker. and seeing how, how some criminals are in this world, are in Gotham. They have no choice. They have to do this. And, you see where they're coming from. You don't really, you don't sympathize with them. You don't sympathize with their situation, but you see the ugliness of the underworld of Gotham. And Jack Frost's story really does, I think, would be a perfect fit for, of course, this Joker, and seeing how crazy he's gotten since, of course, the first movie. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. What sequels out of all of these did you like the most? And what sequels would you like to see, if any sequel at all? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos in the future. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.